What?
Okay, so
Naruto? Okay, recap.
this is the Naruto recap.
Okay.
Where did we last leave off with Naruto?
I don't remember, but I do remember we talked about Itachi a lot.
Well, I mean, you can't talk about Naruto without talking about Itachi.
Like we literally talked about Itachi for like 30 minutes.
That's
I listened to you fangirl and it was actually really entertaining just because.
you don't understand. The actual name of the series is Itachi. That's the trick. You have to develop your eyes enough to see that it's not about Naruto at all. It's all about Itachi, and it comes up again. So I think the last time we talked off, Neji had died because it was after Christmas. So Neji had died.
Neji died. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were really sad about it.
6 fucking years. 6 years with my favorite character, and he dies. It's not just that he dies, it's that after he dies, they treat it like he was really important, like they cared about him. Like, his body is laid on the ground, still warm. Hanada's like trying to put the moves on Naruto, like, oh, let's hold hands, Naruto, for Neji's sake. I'm just like, you unscrupulous bitch, like, come on. Like, you were lusting after him so bad. And then
taking a chance.
She's thirsty and hunt for that D is what she's doing. And then afterwards, like, Naruto's like, oh, Neji was such a genius, we're gonna do this for Neji. I'm like, you're fucking doing it for Neji, like, you're doing this for yourself. Like, you have these 3 entities that are just trying to blow up everything. Like, you didn't need Neji's death to be, like, the impetus for, like, everyone to fight together. Like, everyone had Zerd rushed the final boss because it was that serious. Like, it was already serious. Like, you didn't need a character's death. And it just had to be Neji. Like, somehow, like, the Jubi's, like, firing off, like, these giant wooden stakes. Choji's still alive because, yeah, he's fast enough to dodge all this shit. Kiba and his fucking dog are alive. But Neji, who's, like, deflecting, rotating, and just doing all this shit, no, he dies. He dies to save Hinata, who's trying to save Naruto. Because Naruto just forgets he's Jesus and just like, oh god, like, there are things happening, I don't know what to do, like, where's your fucking shadow clones now, Naruto? Or like your little burrow into the ground technique. Nope, he's just sitting there just like, shits his pants, and he's just like, I don't know what to do. And so Hinata has to like jump and like, I'm gonna save you, and then Neji's like, no, I'm gonna save you. And somehow Neji gets stabbed, and it doesn't take Hinata and Naruto out with him. I'm just like, this series. And after that, like, you get the only reaction you get is from Lee. Lee like comes over and he's crying. I'm like, alright, at least someone acknowledges this. Like, 1010, I don't even know. 1010 probably doesn't exist anymore. Like, if she was there, I think I'd just like edit her out anyway. But Lee's there, and Guy too. I'm like, fuck you, Guy. Like, if you really cared, you would have like tried to train him half as much as you try to train Lee. But whatever. Everyone cares about Neji now that he's dead. And after that, Naruto like gets another power up and another random ability, and he's giving everyone chakra, and everyone's all like supercharged and stuff. And then they turn into a giant fucking bird and fly, and like they're just like this giant chakra bird, and they like attack the Ten Tails. And because you know Neji, like his symbol was the bird, and like he was the bird in the cage. And then, like, his Byakugan wasn't perfect enough to see, like, all the birds around. So now that he's dead, they're just gonna, like, flap their way to heaven just to do it for Neji's sake. And I'm like, this is just the cheapest pandering that it's frustrating. Like, so far, 50,000 people have already died, including, and just, like, seconds before Neji died, Shikamaru's dad died. Ito's dad died, possibly, who knows? They're gonna like just be like, oh, I had a plan. I turned this all into shadows and I'm Shikamaru's dad. I can do what I want. I was thinking like 40 moves ahead, so I already have this planned out. But yeah, and it was Neji's death that gave them the final push to take this fight seriously. It was like, fuck you all, like you're all like this is the stupidest thing. First of all, everyone decides to Zerd Rush the Ten-Tailed Bees, which is stupid enough. And then their ultimate plan that Shikamaru or Dad came up with was to, like, put it in to build a cage around it and just, like, throw water and sand and fire and, like, make a cement little case and just hope it just stays still. Like, that's their plan. They're gonna, I guess, like Chernobyl, just, like, put enough cement on it and sooner or later it'll just take care of itself. Like, yep, that's the plan. And while this is happening, you have Toby and Madara who are just sitting there, just watching this shit happen. And this just tells you like how bad all the characters are. Like Toby's like, "Hey, should we do something?" And Madara's just like, "Nah, let's just look at the lasers flying around." Like there's such unclear motivation about what's going on. So Toby was Obito, Kakashi's friend from childhood. They got crushed by the rocks and gave gave Kakashi his eye.
Okay.
And so then he, oh god, it's so
fine.
stupid.
Okay, so that's him.
Yeah, and Madara is the Madara who the first Hokage beat, who died and came back because of Kabuto's Edo Tensei.
Okay.
So it's Madara to Obito and the Ten Tails versus everyone, and that's just it. So this is all going on. Then Neji died. Then they turn to the giant bird, attack the Ten Tails, and that's where that fight leaves off. And so then we pick back up. Then we pick back up with Sasuke. So you know it's gonna be good if it's Sasuke time. So after Itachi soloed Kabuto, Sasuke's next move is to bring back Orochimaru because, yeah, why not? I mean, you had such strong loyalty to him.
Sasuke is such an idiot.
Like, it's so unclear what anyone wants to do. Like, no one wants to do anything. Like, it's just happening somehow. It's so unclear what's going on. So, they bring back Orochimaru, who, like, I'm secretly hoping that Orochimaru, true to form, will just backstab everybody at the last minute and, like, like, give me your body, Sasuke. Like, he's back, but, like, he doesn't have, like, his pizzazz, his swagger, because he's just, like, there helping, which just makes me think that he's just faking. He's just waiting for the moment. Because, like, as Sasuke's like, I'm going to bring back Orochimaru, the water guy, Suigetsu's like, no, don't do that. Like, that's a bad idea. And Jugo's just like, and Sasuke's like, no, I'm going to do it. So they bring back Orochimaru, they take all of Kabuto's, like, sage, chakra, blah, 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 all of his stuff away, and Orochimaru's back. And Sasuke's like, I want to know I want to speak to the man who knows everything. And Orochimaru's like, I know exactly what you're talking about. And I'm just like, the fuck is going on? So they end up leaving. It's like Sasuke and Orochimaru's wacky adventure. And so you remember Naruto's mom was an Uzumaki that was somehow related to like the Senju clan?
No, I don't remember anything about his mom.
His mom was in a sister clan to the first Hokage's clan, but they have their own separate world, like little village somewhere else that got blown up because everyone wanted their like secret techniques. So whatever. They're just like the secret whatever clan, but they got blown up forever ago. Like that's why Naruto's mom and came to stay at the Leaf Village because they had strong ties.
Do you ever get to see his mom?
Yeah, well, not alive because he's dead.
Oh, gotcha. Okay,
but
yeah,
like,
that's what I thought.
Yeah.
He's an orphan, right?
Yeah, everyone's an orphan. Like there are no parents. Like, no one has a happy childhood in Naruto. That's just like one of the rules.
That's true.
But, so their secret clan apparently had a hidden temple in the Hidden Leaf Village because, sure. So, do you remember back in the Chunin exam arc when Orochimaru wanted to blow up the Leaf Village and the third Hokage made the Reaper Death Seal and put in the souls of the first, second, himself, in Orochimaru's arms?
Yeah,
So,
I remember that.
They go to the Uzumaki Temple and they bring back the Shinigami. With apparently there's all these Shinigami masks, and to summon the thingy, you just have to put on the mask and kill yourself, and the thing will come back. So Orochimaru does that, but he does one of his like little snake throat techniques and comes back, whatever. And he brings back the souls of the first three Kages, and actually all the Hokages, and his arms, and he does the zombie Edo Tensei to bring them all back. So Sasuke, Orochimaru, Water Dude, and Cursil guy, they're there, and then Orochimaru brings back the first four Kages, or Hokages, and that was Sasuke's plan. So then they're all back, like, fuck, and Sasuke's like, I want to know the truth about Itachi, and I'm just like, wow, because you had Madara, or Toby, who told the truth about Itachi, Danzo, who told the truth about Itachi, Itachi, who told him the truth about Itachi, and I think Madara again, who told him the truth about Itachi, but Sasuke still wants to know the truth about Itachi, and it's just like you were so infantile. It's not even funny. Like you don't even want the truth. Like you might as well just make a shadow clone to tell you what you want to hear, and then you'll be like, "Yep, that's what I wanted. I wanted the truth about Itachi." Like, so he brings back the four Hokage to retell them what he already knows and has been confirmed to be true. Naruto told him too when they fought up that one time. He was like, "I know the truth about Itachi," and Sasuke's like, "No one knows the truth about Itachi. I need to go. I need to keep killing people before I figure out the truth about Itachi." And so it's so funny. The fourth Hokage is just like pretty much non-existent. And one of my followers asked because I told him we were making this video about do I think that the fourth Hokage is going to see Naruto? Nope. I do not think the fourth Hokage is going to see Naruto because the fourth Hokage would have to acknowledge his parental obligations to Naruto, and he has not shown any interest in the slightest in showing parental affection toward Naruto. Because at that, like during the flashback, you see like how Toby stole Kushina, like broke out the demon fox attack. Like the fourth Hokage could have very well survived that, but he was like, I'm gonna be a shitty dad without my wife, so I'm just gonna die too. And that's what he did. Like the mom, yeah, she was fine. Like she wasn't gonna survive that. I mean, she probably could have if he would have like teleported to a hospital, but nope. He decided not to. He was like, instead of taking you to a hospital so you can get like emergency medical conditions, I'm gonna leave you in this like baby that's 2 minutes old in this shed, and I'm gonna go fight, and I'll be back. And that was his plan. And then they were like, well, we can't do anything, so let's just seal the fox and Naruto and die together. That's his whole plan. And I'm like, okay, great. So now he's back. He's not gonna see Naruto. He doesn't want to see Naruto. Like he didn't want to be a dad. He didn't want to. No. The fourth Hokage is terrible. So the third Hokage is like he says something to Sasuke about like I can't believe you did this, and then
the third Hokage is the old guy, right?
Yeah, he was the good grandpa.
Okay. Yeah.
And so the first and second, who were dead before Itachi was born, like they like hear about Itachi, and then the first I think it was the first Hokage says Itachi is a better shinobi than him, and the third Hokage says Itachi had the wisdom of a Hokage when he was 7, and so we're like everyone's just fucking laughing like. This is why you always end up talking about Itachi, because you can't talk about anyone else without talking about Itachi, because everyone knows, even people who don't know Itachi know that he's better than them. Like, the fucking first Hokage is just like, yeah, Itachi was a way better shinobi than me, like, that dude is awesome. And then the third Hokage is like, yeah, when he was 7, he could have had my job. And then you're just like, you know what, the whole plot of the story just wouldn't have happened if Itachi just would have been born and became the All-Kage. Not just the Hokage, the All-Kage of the whole entire world. That would just solve all the problems. And so then the second Hokage, who I'm starting to really like, because he's just like, because you know how like most characters in the Leaf Village are like, Will of Fire, let's be friends, blah 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 blah. And then you get characters like Danzo, and now the second Hokage are just like, no, we're supposed to be ninjas, like, we're not supposed to have emotions and be all happy, we're supposed to like kill people in the shadows and strike. But they're the bad guys because they're like pragmatic and like evil. And well, Danzo like trying to like blow up orphanages and stuff, so he took it a little too far. But like he was on the right track, maybe. So the second Hokage is like he's sick of this like shit. He's like I'm like Sasuke's an Uchiha and he hates Uchiha. Like the second Hokage is racist. Like he's racist towards Uchiha. He's like they're all evil. They're like they're genetically predisposed towards insanity and hatred, and you should just kill them while you can. Like if an Uchiha baby's born, bash his brain in. That's my policy. But then the first Hokage is like, no, like we can't do that. And then they almost get into a fight. They're like flexing their chakra, and then the first Hokage is like this super goober. Like he's just like half the time he's like a bro. He's just like. Itachi's better than me, like, Sasuke, you brought us all back, that's cool, and he's just like, oh, no, I'm secretly the best badass of all time, because, sure, and they're fighting, and so then, how does it happen, Okay, so after like the third Hokage has reconfirmed what Sasuke already knows about Itachi, then Sasuke then asks, "Well, tell me the truth about the world that made Itachi." And so then the first Hokage is now telling the story about how he and Madara became to be. And okay, so you know, like, the only real ninja in this series is homoerotic subtext. Because you never see it, but it's always there. Between, like, Naruto and Sasuke, Lee and Neji, Kima and Shino, between everybody. Like, that's the only real ninja in the series. Madara and Hashirama, the first Hokage, like, they had a chapter, the last chapter, you might as well rename it Romeo and Juliet or West Side Story or whatever adaptation you want. Like, they were such secret star-crossed lovers, it is just embarrassing to watch. Like, it's almost as bad as like a One Direction video. Like watching these two like look at each other and like talk about like how they're gonna change the world together and like, oh, you're so strong, hey, you're so strong, you have better techniques, dude. And then it's really weird because like there's just like random toilet humor injected into the series. You had like the Zetsu asking like what it was like to use the bathroom. You had like Naruto who had like diarrhea that one time, and then like the first Hokage was watching Madara try to pee, and Madara was like, "I can't pee with people watching me." And the first Hokage was like, "What's going on? Like, you got problems up there?" It's like, are we having like potty humor right now? Like, is this a thing that people do? Like, I just watch people pee, and you're just like, "Ah, you having some problems there?" It's like, "Yeah, you're looking at me." Like, I can't go. And so apparently, like, they ran into each other, and this is before there were ever villages. They were just like clans, and you're not allowed to tell people your last name because then they'll know what clan you are. And they'll try to kill you.
Yeah.
So like they're like totally secret lovers, and then they like end up like at this river, and they're trying to like cross stones, skip stones across it. And then they both become able to do it, and that becomes like their thing. Like they would meet at this river, and they'd toss a stone to each other, and that's like their secret ritual. And so they've just been doing this for years, talking about like as they're like getting stronger or whatever. And they like they figure out that they're from the rival clan, but they don't turn on each other. And so one day, the first Hokage is going back to his camp, and then his dad literally is like, "You were with that boy, weren't you?" And he was like, "No, I wasn't with that boy." And then the second Hokage is like, "I saw you, I followed you, you were with that boy." And then he's like, "No, I wasn't with that boy." It's like this is literally what's happening. Like they're having like the coming out talk, like we caught you with a boy, and it's just like, "No, I wasn't with a boy, anything but a boy." And they're like, "You're with that Uchiha boy." Like, "No, he wasn't Uchiha." Like, I had no idea he was Uchiha. And then his dad's like, "This is what we're gonna do. We're gonna follow you. You're gonna lead him to a trap, and then we're gonna kill him." And he's like, "No, I can't do it. Like, he's my friend." And then he's like, "Well, you gotta like you be in this clan or you're a traitor." And so he goes back to the river, and then Madara goes back to the river. They throw the stones to each other. They catch each other's stones, and then like there's a panel where they're both just like, and we're all thinking like they felt each other's love through the stones. Because you know, like in Naruto, like when Naruto and Sasuke are fighting, they're like, "I can like read your emotions through your fist" and all this kind of stuff. Where like they filled the stones full of love and threw them to each other, and they caught the stones. And they're like, "Tell me your secret, stone." Like, "Oh, what? It's a trap? Okay, I'll go away." So they both like try to jump away, but then their dads and brothers show up, and they both like have the same double crossing thing at the same time. So they both just show up, and then they're like this big face off. And then it turns out like they just wrote like "it's a trap" or "stay away." So that's where Naruto's currently. Yeah, they like just wrote it out beforehand.
Yeah.
But it pretty much is like that. They wrote it in love. It's not ink, it's love. And so that's where Naruto's at. It's a flashback in a flashback about Madara and Hashirama. But to be fair, it's a better love story than anything else that's been in this manga. Because it's better than Naruto and Sasuke because it's at least mutual, and I don't know, it's just fucking, who knows what's going on. So that is the Naruto recap, but it's pretty much all condensed into these two plot lines between the Sasuke, Itachi, Madara flashback, and everybody versus the Ten Tails. I think everything else has been like
So
forgotten.
Sasuke just doesn't give a fuck?
Who knows? You don't fucking know what's going on.
Well, the world might be destroyed, but I need to find out truth about Itachi.
Again, I need to find out the truth about Itachi. Like, there's like a war going on. People are dropping like literally by the thousands. Hold on, guys. I gotta find out what I already know. I just don't want to believe it. Like, honestly, I just don't want him to be dead. Like, that's what he really wants. He doesn't want Itachi to be dead. I'm pretty sure he's gonna find a way to like get Itachi's DNA and bring Itachi back. Or
So where's Itachi now?
Itachi is currently wherever he wants to be. Like, I'm pretty sure that's why Orochimaru hasn't tried to take over his body right now, because Itachi's just gonna like will himself into existence and be like, no, let me one shot you again, just to put you back in your place, because I'm Itachi. Everyone falls in comparison to me. So Itachi is possibly in the afterlife with everyone else, but he's gonna come back and he's gonna be like, I had a Sharingan ability that lets me just come back whenever I want to. Like, duh. Did you guys know that? Like, it's one of my Sharingan abilities. And everyone's going to be like, oh, yeah, makes sense. So, yeah, okay, cool. Of course. And then he's going to be like, you know what? I'm going to come back. That's why I'm not really worried about Neji being dead, because I believe that at the end of the manga, Itachi's just going to, like, open up the firmament of heaven, and everyone's just going to, like, come back down. And then there's gonna like mingle, and it's gonna like just straight with like the dead people, the alive people. Jiraiya is gonna like float up from like the beach or something, like a girl on top of him, be like, "Hey, I'm back too," because everyone's back. Like if the Kages can come back, and Itachi and all the like Akatsuki and stuff can come back, everyone's gonna come back, and Itachi is going to pierce heaven and bring them all back. That's what Itachi is. He's the life after death. Because it's a Sharingan ability. Because it was foreshadowed. Because the Sharingan could do literally whatever it wants. Literally. And that's the Naruto Recap.
Sweet.